Let's go, guys. This one is freaking requested by a lot of you. A lot of you guys that are skinny fat that are wanting to make that transition from being skinny fat and being in between both fat and skinny. You really want to get out of that. We need to do a body recomposition. And it's different at all stages of life, especially like when you're younger. It's easy to get away with some certain stuff. As you get older, it gets obviously harder no matter what you're doing. But specifically for this, guys, when it comes to body recomposition after you turn 35, I want to dial in what your process should be and how you should go about it. Because it's going to be a little different. It's going to be a little different, but it's not something that you can't handle. All right, guys, I'm going to show you exactly what we're going to do. We're going to break it down. But first things first, let me tell you about this. All right. What is a body recomposition in itself? Basic layman's terms, guys. Body recomposition is not losing weight. If you're skinny fat, you don't need to just lose weight. You need to build muscle at the same freaking time. So that's what a body recomposition. You're losing body fat and you're building muscle at the same time. Because losing weight alone, you still have the potentiality to look soft. But when you're in a recomp, you'll look lean, you'll look strong, and you'll look defined because you're packing your body with muscle and you're actually filling out your skin with lean tissue mass. Right, guys? The goal at the end of the day is to obviously look like you actually go to the gym. That is the goal. To actually look like you're training and you're actually in the gym doing the work, right? Because most people leave the gym feeling like they never even stepped foot in the gym and they look like they've never done it either. I don't want that to be you guys. Let's break it down and how we're going to do this, okay? So why do most men fail? And why do maybe some of you guys are watching this have done this before. I know I have. When I first started my fitness journey, I know I have for sure. Why do most men fail when they get into a body recomposition and they're trying to lose body fat and build muscle? They eat way too little or too much. And this can vary because it's not just like one or the other. It's both. Some people eat way too little. Some people eat way too much. Depending on where you're at, on like how much your capacity for eating is, it could be different, right? But that's a majority. Majority of people are just doing that, right? Or you're doing random workouts. You're copying influencers online that you saw. Oh, this is a really cool movement here. Let me try it for myself. And then next thing you know, it was never tailored for you. It was just a random freaking workout, right? The third thing, they have no overall plan. This is in all aspects with fitness, nutrition, recovery, sleep, all that. They never had a plan stepping into this body recomposition. They were kind of quote unquote winging it, and that's why they had no results. Because if we're fail to prepare, you got to prepare to fail. And then after all, guys, consistency. They quit after 2 to 3 weeks. There was no consistency. They quit because they didn't see results, and no wonder they quit because I would quit too if I saw no results, right? Especially but in a short time span, most people don't even get to that point. To give it a good shot, they'll quit really soon. So people are mainly chasing, like I said, guys, like they're chasing weight loss when they should be chasing the change of their body and also, more importantly, their identity. And we're going to break it down a little more as we go. So the 5 pillars that every single person needs to dial in if you're watching this video for a successful body recomposition is number one, and it's in a specific order for a reason, guys. I mean, I wanted to kind of go over this. I don't want to say the most important to the least important, but this is like the fundamental stuff as we go along, guys. Nutrition is number one. Strength training, cardio, recovery, and consistency. They all have their important metrics. When it comes to successfully doing a body recomp. And like I said, we're gonna dive in deeper. If you miss one of these guys, you can expect slower results. You're going to see results, no doubt, if you keep doing them, even if you're just missing one. But do expect to see slower results. That's a choice that you're making, right? And then if you miss 2 guys, I can guarantee you're not going to see results. If you miss 2 of any of these 5, you will not see results. If you have your nutrition, your recovery, and your consistency down, but your cardio and your strength training is screwed up, you're not going to be packing on the muscle. You're not going to be losing body fat properly. That's basically the end of the result for any of these. If you're just only doing 3 out of the 5 and you're still missing 2, you're not going to lose the fat. You're not going to build the muscle. So let's start off with nutrition, guys. The simple rule is that eating enough to lose fat, but still build muscle. When it comes to the clients that I work with, I always keep their protein high. for the most part, their protein never really changes. It's always kept at a high level at around 170, 180 grams per protein for most people, right? For it's a different for some people need it more, some people need it less, but mainly for the average Joe, we're keeping it in that range, right? So when it comes to protein, guys, why that's important is that's what's going to build the muscle. Like your protein out of all the macros, I don't want to say it's the most important, but it low key kind of is because that's what's actually going to build the muscle, right? Some examples, I included some examples you could look at that. Carbs, it's going to give you the fuel that you need, the energy in your workouts. Carbs are also important in the fact of like, if you don't have the energy to push yourself in your workouts or push yourself to get through your day, you're going to feel so depleted by the time like 5 p.m. comes around, maybe even before that. You're just like, damn, like, how am I going to get through these next like 6 hours of the day or 5 hours of the day, whatever? And carbs are what's going to help you do that. It's important for your brain function and it's important for other processes in the body. So make sure to get in your carbs. Do not neglect those guys. And then when it comes to your fats, this is all about your hormones. This is what keeps your body functioning, like actually properly. Like I said, the examples that you guys have here, these are just a few of the amazing sources of food that you can have when it comes to protein, carbs, and fats. These are some of the fundamentals of my diet every single day that make me feel genuinely amazing when I eat them. Like it took me a while to actually desensitize myself from processed foods and stuff like that when I started filling it in with foods like this. But once you do, and once you get consistent with foods like this, I can trust you that they start to taste amazing and you actually get low-key excited to actually eat them because they know you know that your body feels good when you do. That's a promise I can make for that. Fitness. This is what I call the signal because it's essentially what it is, guys. When we go to the gym, we are signaling our body to grow. We are signaling our body to start the process of building muscle, right? I never say that muscle is built in the gym, but it does. That is where the signal does start. That is where the stimulus is, right? So lifting weights 3 to 5 times per week is the very much minimum that you can do when it comes to fitness. 3 days. I would almost even say you can go two if you really wanted to go hard on those 2 days. But I never recommend two. I always say three is the minimum. Lifting weights 3 to 5 times per week. And then focusing on the compounds, guys. If you're really on a time crunch and are really on a time budget, just focus on the compound list where you're incorporating multiple muscle groups. It makes it a lot easier for everybody, and it's going to help you out a lot. So bench press, squat, and deadlifts. And then last but not least, guys, you want to practice progressive overload in all forms. Notice how I said all forms, because when most people think progressive overload, they're solely just thinking about more weight. And it's not just more weight, because you're not always going to be able to lift more weight every single week, but you can get another rep in. You can maybe do an extra set. You can perfect your technique. These kind of things. That is also progressive overload in all aspects. Cardio, guys, the burn. This is what I was saying, how, it's not entirely required for you to do cardio to do a successful body recomposition. I've done it in the past, but I'm telling you right now, you will see slower. It will be slower, the results. If you do too much, guys, you will expect to lose muscle. If you're doing too little, you are going to slow down your fat loss progress. So the simple thing, guys, make it a daily requirement to get 8 to 12K steps. If I was going to be very specific, I would just say even 10, right? Optional, guys, is to do 2 to 3 short cardio sessions per week, and which is mean like you can guys go on an incline on a treadmill or something like that. You don't have to do that, honestly. I don't even do that, but it's going to help you speed up results. Depends on how fast you want this, right? And I never want to give you guys a time frame of exactly how it's going to work because everyone's different on their budget of time and stuff. But if you could get 10K steps in every day, you're golden, right? And I want you to think about it this way. Let this be your personal time to ground yourself in being outside or even just on a treadmill in your house, listening to some good music. Like breathe. You get a chance to decompress yourself and really just like connect to God. Really just think about like, the identity of the person that you're trying to become. Honestly, this is a great way to do that. Recovery, guys, this is a fact. Your body only changes when you rest, not when you train. Like I said, your body gets the signal to build muscle in the gym, but it's not actually going to build itself in the gym. It's going to build it when you're sleeping, when you're not doing strenuous activity, when you're sitting at your desk at home doing work, and you're not actually curling a barbell or dumbbell, whatever. Like it's actually going to be built in that process of just sleep, like recovery in general. So sleep, guys, you need to make it a daily requirement to get minimum 7 hours per night. All right. And if you don't sleep, you're going to hold more fat. You're going to lose muscle Yeah, you will lose muscle if you sleep less. And yoga, obviously, we all know you're gonna feel tired. Nobody wants to feel tired throughout their day when they need to be productive for 16 hours, right? And then when it comes to stress, guys, we all know that that's never a good thing, right? The more stress that you have, the harder it is going to be to lose fat. So control you guys' schedule. Take as many breaks as you can. A 5 minute break can do a lot of justice for you. And just overall minimize the chaos in your life. Stop over promising yourself that you're going to do things that you know you can't fulfill. Stop like over committing to people that you know you can't you can't like uphold that promise. You know what I mean? Like it's simple things. Even I have to remind myself of this all the time because we want to be everywhere at once, but it's not possible and it will stress you out. So have a grip on that. Make sure to get a grip on that. It's going to take some practice, but you can do it. Consistency, guys, this is the separator. I like to call this a separator because anybody can do any of the stuff that I just told you for a couple months, but they'll drop off, right? Because they never did it for long enough. I've been doing this myself, guys, for 10, 10 years, almost 10 years. I feel like an old man. I've been doing this for 10 years, guys. It takes a long time to get this right. It all seems so easy, but it's not, right? I mean, it all seems so simple, but it's not easy, right? And it's going to take some time to get these habits down. These are lifelong habits you guys are building here. You could do it perfect for 1 week and you're not going to see anything, or you could do it good enough for 12 weeks, and that will mean everything. That would mean the difference between you not seeing results and you seeing results. And then obviously, guys, I mean, after 12 weeks, you just keep doing it, right? And it gets easier because it's a habit and you're not even thinking about it. Like I said, consistency, most people think consistency means every single day I don't miss. Like the rigid mindset of that. It's just not real. It's not a reality. It's not real. It's not hard to do that. I don't even do that. Consistency really means every other day, or bare minimum when you're trying to get better at something every 2 days. That is what consistency really is. So the simple rule that I give you here: never miss twice in a row. There's a reason that they call it 3 strikes and you're out. Because after the third day of not doing something you know you should be doing, you're actively you're actively doing it on purpose. Like you're just like whatever. Like you've given up on yourself after the third day. Make that correlation in your head. 3 days, 3 strikes, and I'm out. I have to start from ground zero again. Almost treat it like that. Every time you start after the third day, you're starting from ground zero. Be aggressive with it because that's what it takes to really facilitate this change we're trying to get here. The biggest mistakes that I've noticed inside of not only my own recomposition, but people that I've worked with my clients is they're skipping meals. And then next thing you know, the end of the day comes and their body is naturally craving more salt, more sugar, and then they overindulge and eat more food. They're not eating enough protein. They're not changing their plans every week. Obviously, if you're working with me, I got you. But like if you're doing it by yourself, you need to be diligent with changing your plans at least every 6 to 8 weeks. But you have to stick to the plan for those whole 6, 8 weeks. Don't skip it around in the next first 2 weeks and then 3 weeks and you're changing it again. Like, no, you have to be diligent with it for a certain amount of time. Then you can change it, right? Only doing cardio, guys, if you're just walking and you're helping for results, I'm sorry, you're not going to see any. Okay. And then not tracking anything. Tracking is a skill. When you there's a certain power that comes with knowing exactly how much food is coming into your body. There's a certain amount of power you get when you know how much you can bench press for how many reps and how you progressed from the week or month before. There is power in that information. And you can have that. You just need to start tracking because what gets measured gets improved. And I want you guys to take away this, guys. Changing your identity, not your body. We talked about this a little briefly before, but this is the real secret. Because it's not going to be a special diet or magic workout that gets you to recomp properly. Because the body recomposition automatically comes when you change what's up in here. Okay, it's about becoming the type of person, especially the type of man that trains consistently, eats with intention, and lives disciplined to be a steward to God. This is the identity shift you need to make. Because once that identity shift happens, the body automatically changes with the brain. It's just inevitable. It's just a matter of time. But you need to make that identity shift. And whatever it takes, you have to do. And what I talked about before is what it takes to make that identity shift. So guys, that is the slideshow. That is everything. That is the presentation on how to do a proper body recomposition after 35. If this was helpful, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, save the video for later to reference back to it. And if you guys are looking for, a little bit more assistance or you have a question on something, feel free to DM me. My DMs are always open on Instagram at ZachJMonaco. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.